Hi everybody. So it is Tuesday and we're having our Thanksgiving today. There's so much for me to be thankful for right now. I know it's not November, but with COVID easing off and Vermont being in such good standing and Sunny being home from New York and does not have the disease and being pregnant for her first child and just so many different reasons it's time for Thanksgiving here. We didn't get to do it in November. Sunny was gone and Danielle went to her in-laws. So we're going to do like a Thanksgiving. Now I know Mary said she wanted to have the Thanksgiving videoed, but it's kind of hard to do that because I've been kind of cooking for the Thanksgiving all day long and there's just no way to keep videoing. And I guess if I took the time to take all the pieces and edit them together, that would work. But a lot of the things I'm cooking you've already seen. Like I'm going to be doing an apple pie. You've seen me do pies several times. I'd rather do apple pies with you live cutting apples in the fall than of the ones that I've made. I'll show you what I've got here. I have the ones that I made for the freezer here, and they're all seasoned, and I'm just going to make the apple pie out of the seasoned one by just making my crust and putting the filling in because it's all set and putting some butter in. So I'd rather make them live with you in the fall. The salads, I'm not doing like heavy mashed potatoes and all of that today. I thought about it for a long time and said, oh, that's a traditional dinner. I'm going to do a summer Thanksgiving, which is going to have salad. So I've made another version of last night's salad here. I'm putting that together. I'm still not quite done. I'm going to make a green salad, which I'm going to talk to you about from the garden today in a minute. But the one thing that's always the mystery about every Thanksgiving, we all have our traditions. We all do many different things. But some people say, I can't host Thanksgiving because I don't know what to do with a turkey. So I'm going to show you from the moment you get it in the store, the packaging, how to get it out, how to clean it, get it in the pan. I'm going to give you the guidelines on defrosting it. I'm going to give you the guidelines on cooking it, whether it's going to be stuffed or not. Now today I'm not stuffing the bird because I'm not going to be doing the whole gravy and tons of stuff like that today. So I'm going to leave that for Thanksgiving. If we're still doing these videos by Thanksgiving, I definitely will be doing a stuffing one, and I'll be showing you all different kinds of versions of different things. But today I'm going to do a basic, and this stands, the one I'm going to do today shows you how to roast a chicken as well. Just pretend it's a chicken and not a turkey. The only thing will be different for a chicken is to remember that when you're roasting anything, it's 20 minutes per pound. So there you go. If you have a 2-pound bird, 20 minutes per pound. Obviously, it's only going to take 40 minutes to bake that turkey. So when you're doing like a chicken or a duck or anything like that, 20 minutes per pound is the go-to. It's a little bit more intense for some reason plus I tend to do my chickens at 350, so they go a little bit faster too. If you want to do a turkey properly, they're so much bigger, there's so much more to them. 325 is really the go-to. That's what they say, 325, and that's what I try to remember to cook it at. Sometimes I still cook it at 350 without thinking, and then I shave off some time, but I don't know if I'm doing the bird any justice because the heat needs to get in there and distribute through all the parts, not just what's closer to the surface. So 325, and I'm going to show you what it looks like right now. I'm going to go over here. The awesome thing about Hannaford's, and I don't know if they're still going to be able to do this now without the plastic bags, but I'm going to show you. They sold, and I did this on purpose, I kept this on purpose for you guys, a turkey bag that said how much to buy, how many pounds per person. It's kind of old now because it was in there last fall. The thawing, how long to thaw in cold water and in the fridge, and then cooking times. So I'm probably going to take a minute, not probably, I will take a minute to type that all out beside this video so you can actually have that. You can actually, if I type it out on the side, you can take a screenshot of that and you can print that out and have that as your hard copy at home to be able to follow. That's a wonderful thing that Hannaford's has been doing for the last few years, plus the bags are really super thick because they're turkey bags, and that's a good tool. So I'll get that for you onto this video. So now here we go. I'm going to show you. Here is the turkey, and it's so simple, but I can see how it can be daunting if you've never done it before. So there's your turkey in a bag. I'm getting a quick knife here that I will need to open the bird up. So here we go. We got it like this from Hannaford's, and I'm tossing it out of the bag. Excuse me. And this is what it looks like. Just here you go. I didn't know how much this was per pound because look, my even though this was the one I bought for Thanksgiving last year, it got wet and apparently the label came off. So no big deal. You want to know how much this weighs? Go to your scale in your bathroom. You can either put it on your scale, and I don't know how accurate that would be because the scale is normally looking for a full person, but you can just stick it on your scale if you want. Just go stick your bird right on it. Or you can go weigh yourself. I'm X amount of pounds, then hold the turkey and weigh yourself again and subtract the difference. I do know because I did that second option today. I weighed myself and then I weighed it with the turkey in my hands and know this is 12 pounds. So being 12 pounds, if we go to our chart from Hannaford's 12 pounds, and we're not going with stuffed because see there's two different parts to this chart. There's stuffed and unstuffed. I'm going to go, the first category is 8 to 12 pounds. It would not be more than 3.5 hours, so that's cool if it was stuffed, but unstuffed is 3 hours. So I know it's just before 3 o'clock right now. I've already got my oven up to temperature of 325 that this is going to be done by 6 at the latest. And 2 3/4 hours is the smaller time. So I know 6 o'clock is my eating time. So that's the part I can take care of right now by gauging when this is going to be done. Okay, so here we go. I slit the bag. And I pull it off. Again, this is what I do. You're going to have some juices come out and everything. If you're right in your sink and you have no problem, then just go ahead. I was just showing you in this bowl because I was using this bowl for the garden, and I was like, oh, might as well just use this bowl to kind of show them how you can keep it contained. I always get this out of here, and I'm not going to stuff it or anything, so I don't care to have the plastic piece that they've got going on here. Reach in, get anything out of here. Now, these are kind of cool, the giblets and the neck. If you're going to be the kind of person that's going to, you can cook this down and put it into some stock. Make it with stock or whatever. I don't tend to use it. If anything, I cook it down and I let my animals have it, to be honest with you. So you can see how much liquid did come out of my bag, so that tells you right there. Okay, next thing I do is I do rinse it. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Ooh, spraying myself here. Rinse the cavity. Absolutely rinse the cavity, for sure. Definitely want everything out of there. And again, flip it upside down, rinse the body. And then what I'm going to do, rinse the bottom, rinse the top. I'm going to get the water out of here again. And then I'm going to set it to drain for a few minutes, which is on my strainer. So there you go. I'm going to leave it like this for a few minutes to get anything that's inside of there out. While that is draining, first of all, wash your hands. Remember, anything to do with poultry. I mean, if you're doing beef or anything anyways, you get blood or anything on your counter, you always use your cloths to clean it up and always wash your hands frequently. But definitely even more specific poultry, any kind of poultry, keep your hands washed when you go from one thing to the other. And I understand that I'm just going to go to the pan now. I'm going to be cooking it in, but I don't want to grab that pan with any kind of yuck on me and then grab it later just to check something and do a new transference. So I don't take any chances. Here is my pan. This is what I'm using. It's a roasting pan. It's a good size roasting pan. Here's my cover. So what first thing I do is and I feel like this is almost done. I always use Pam for this type of situation. It's called the Original. It's also called Easy Cleaning. And I feel like, yep, it's almost out. So, as a matter of fact, it is out. So I can toss that one. I wanted to do kind of an experiment check. And so this is a good time to do my experiment check. I wanted to see what the store brand, how it worked. So this time I do have more cans of Pam in the pantry, but I really wanted to try this vegetable one, and this is the Walmart brand, and I also use the Hannaford to test once in a while, but I want to see how this performs. So I specifically bought 1 can of this just to see, because there is quite a price difference between the two, to be honest with you, and I'd love to see how this one performs as opposed to how the Pam is. Is it all hype? Is it all excuse me, I got some of that sucked in. Is it all hype or is it going to make a difference? So I've got my pan prepared. You can see I sprayed all around the sides and everything. Then I'm going to take my, well, I guess I need to, I'll do it in here so you can see. I'm going to place my pan in here so you can see where I'm heading and what I'm doing. So I've got my turkey. I'm shaking it to make sure that there's nothing left in it. And there isn't. There's no water. Checking if there's anything in the back of here. Yes, don't forget to grab the heart and everything else. And then I am going to, sometimes I trim this off of here, but I like the flavor of that goes up into the turkey from the grease, so I leave it on there. But that's where you would be tucking in. Back here is where you would be doing a lot of stuffing, and the stuffing goes in here, and back here, both places. But we're not doing that today. We'll be doing that in November. So, and then you'd be tucking that under. Okay, so there I am. Now the next thing I do is I tend to baste mine. You could baste it with anything you want. Today I'm choosing, you could baste, you could take that can of Pam right there and spray that bird. I've done it before. I've definitely done it. That's one that goes into. I'm trying to wash my hands for the right amount of time. I have done that when I've had hardly no time at all. I'll just take that can of Pam and just spray that whole turkey or chicken or whatever poultry I am cooking down right all over it. But today I have decided that I wanted to use just butter. So I've got my butter here. See if you can see it. Let me pull back a little bit here. Wah, wah. Oh, I don't want to drop you again like I did the other day. So I've got a bunch of melted butter right there. And in that melted butter, normally I would use garlic powder. I love it. It's clean. It's got a good flavor. It doesn't leave pieces on there. But today, I really, for some reason, wanted to try to use garlic pieces. So today, I'm going in here and getting some garlic pieces. And I'm really going to be generous with the garlic because it's going to be covering that whole turkey. So I'm not being stingy at all. I'm actually going in for some pretty good amount of pieces. There. And then I'm going to bring my turkey over here so you can see it. I'm going to baste Mr. Bird. So, you can baste with your hands. If you don't have a brush, you can dip your hands in there and baste. That's fine. You've seen how many times I've cleaned my hands and everything's going to be fine. Stir it up really well because you want those pieces to come on your, see how the pieces are on my brush? I want those pieces to sit on top of this bird. So, there I go. I'm just going to be brushing, brushing, brushing. I baste it when I first start to cook it, and often brush it in the middle. Think about what kind of flavors you want on this turkey. I know that people do honey of a ham, so when you're doing a ham, you can baste it with syrup and all kinds of stuff to make it sweet like that. With ham, you can do pineapple, you can do all kinds of things. Turkeys, what kind of flavors would you like with your turkeys? Mostly I've always just gone with butter or any variation of butter, like I said, the Pam and whatever. And as you can see, I'm going very liberal. I'm real, because I don't want this bad boy to be dry, and I want it to have some really good flavor, especially since I'm not stuffing it. So look at that. Look at that beautiful amount of garlic pieces sitting all over the place there. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh. There we go. All right. Let's see who that is. You've had an example of some robocalling, which we're not going to pay any attention to. Okay, let's let the machine do its thing. So, sorry about that, guys. I can't get that out of there. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is from here, I'm going to put it in the oven because I'm all set. My oven is 325. I know it's 3 o'clock, and for sure this bird's going to be out by 6. I do not put the cover on it when I first start. When I first start to bake my turkey or chicken or anything, I always start with the cover off because I want I'm the kind of person that does it the other way around. The other recipes tell you to leave the cover on for X amount of hours and take it off to make it brown in the end. But sometimes you don't know how fast your bird is going to cook, and if it cooks faster than you think, then you haven't got any time to brown it in the end, because then you're cut off with like losing a half an hour or something. So I always keep it with top off for the first hour or so until it gets good and brown, and then I take my cover and I put it on loosely. If for some reason my bird is way too big, because there are some birds that are bigger, let's face it, some people cook some big birds, and you can't put your cover back on, then tent it, loosely tent it with aluminum foil. So there are just different ways to cover it up. But I'm going to put this in the oven right now on the bottom, which, sorry to leave you for a second to do that. I'm going to stick it in the oven. And there, it's done. So now I don't have to think about my bird at all until 6 o'clock. And that's how easy that is. I'm going to wash my hands again. And while I'm washing my hands, I'm going to talk to you about what we're having for the rest of it. I have decided that it's going to be, like I said, a summer Thanksgiving, because it is summer, so it's going to be a summer-ish menu. So I'm doing another version of the pasta salad from last night, and I'm going to do a potato salad, which you've already seen me do, so you don't need to watch me do that today. And you've actually already seen me do the tricolor. So those are the ones that are my kids' favorites, and those are the ones I'm going to do, so you don't need to see those again. But what I do have for you to see is that I have been to the garden this morning. And in the garden, I picked... so we're going to make a green salad as well. So I'm going to go get a bowl for the green salad. Whoops, there we are. In the garden, I have a nice thick, heavy, I have 2 lettuces, nice thick heavy lettuce. And then I have the traditional that everybody knows about that's in the garden. I don't know what they call it leaf lettuce, but see how it's the difference in them? And so this is lighter. This is a much lighter flavor, a much lighter texture over here, and this is a very thick, heavy, almost bitter. This one's almost bitter taste to it. This one's very light and tastes kind of grassy, actually. So I'm going to make the combination of the two. I'm going to do a quick salad. So I'm going to quickly go get a bowl. And, oh, actually, I think I got one out over here. I did. I'm going to take my lettuce, and I'm going to loosely tear it. I've already, as you can see that it's wet, you can see that I have already taken the time to wash it while I was getting everything else prepped. And I'm looking for anything that may not be perfect while I'm pulling this out. Like, see, this is a little bit, it's not dirty because I washed the whole thing, but see, a little, oh, like, okay, let's see. It's actually so good. It looks like a couple of spots may have like rusted, but I know it's not rust, but I don't know what else to call it when it comes to gardening, because I know that beans in the garden, they will rust if you're going through the garden after it's rained and you're picking your beans, or should happen to play in them as you're going by to something else. They will rust if they are touched when they're wet. So beans we do not touch when they're wet, but see, there are some little dark spots here and there. It does look like rust, but I don't know what to call it. I know it's not dirt because I washed the whole thing. I stood here with the spray for quite some time. Okay, so I'm going to do more than that, but that's how I'm starting. Whoops, there's some dirt from the garden. I will go through it a little more intensely than this. Oh, a couple things I do want to show you that I'm going to do. This is one of our cucumbers from the garden, one of our first ones. So I'm just going to, over here, I'll show you that I just... taking the peelings off of it. I just got this out of the garden yesterday. And I'm going to, so this is going to be just a nice sweet little green salad to as a compliment to the pasta and the potato, because it just seems nice to have a nice variation. And I've got corn on the cob as my vegetable for sure, as well. I got that from Hartman's. And so I do have a vegetable, but it's not going to be like traditional Thanksgiving. It's not going to be all like squashes and heavy stuff, you know, the beans that they do for the casserole, bean casserole and stuff. It's not going to be any of that. It's going to be light, summery, but it's still going to be Thanksgiving because we're having a turkey. And then that I started working on here was a piece of celery again, like we did yesterday. I want them in smaller pieces, so I'm going to take them together, like to go down the half and take them apart like this. And so this is going to be a nice light green salad. There's going to be more lettuce in it, obviously. I just didn't want you to stand there and watch me tear lettuce. So, and I've got 2 more cucumbers here to do, so that's the next item in here. I will keep going on that in a minute. There's also a bunch of these. This kind of got a little rough on there, just so we're going to toss that one. But I got some more out of the garden again this morning, so I'm going to cut them in half like this and just toss them in. Oh gosh, they're so good. Oh, I could just pop these right in my mouth right now. So awesome. Can you see what's going on here okay, guys? See, there you go. And I'm also going to cut a big onion and make nice large strips of them. Right here. So here's my onion. You can see I'm taking the ends off, the butt ends off, top and bottom. I always cook with Vidalia. I buy Vidalia. I don't buy yellow or any other kind. I love the sweet onions, and so that's what we're doing here. It's cooking with Vidalia. Vidalia, you bite into it, whether it's cooked or raw, and it's just such a sweet, sweet taste. That's why I only use that. So for whatever reason, here, there we go, getting the last of it off. All right. There we go. Here we are. So then I'm going to do like fun, and I'm going to fill this whole bowl when we're done. You're not going to be seeing it, but here we go. Nice chunks. I just did a round, and then I cut it in quarters after that, so there's nice fat onion chunks in here. And then the other thing I'm going to put in here, oops. Didn't I knock you over again? Sorry guys, that's what it is filming. My gosh, I only have so much room on this counter. This is just a tiny version of how big this salad's going to be, but I'm just showing you what all the ingredients in there are going to be. So it's just a quick version of it just to give you an idea of what's going on here. And then I'm going to take a couple of these shallots from the garden, cut them down in here as well. There, oh, isn't that beautiful? Wow. I will obviously make this much larger afterwards. I'm just giving you an idea because I don't think you want to stay here and just watch me keep cutting and chopping and cutting and chopping. You more just probably want to know what the ingredients are, so you can go ahead and do it yourself. And there we go. And there, and a carrot. We'll grab a carrot. Shout out again to Tupperware for these amazing containers, the Food Saver containers. They are awesome. So I'm going to go over here, and I think you can see me quickly. Here we go. So this is going to be a nice garden, traditional garden green salad. Nothing super fancy at all. Just a really sweet green salad. And that's what's going to be mostly for our... I thought about it. Did I really want to go traditional Thanksgiving? Because today is actually the coolest of the days that we've been having. We've been having some real sweaters. And today's... oh, not much out of the 70s, really. Maybe it's... it might be close to 80. I don't think so, though. There you go. I might throw a handful of that festive fiesta cheese in here that we had the other day. If you remember seeing that when I threw it in the tri-colored pasta. Oh gosh, this is good. Look at how beautiful. Oh, I know what else I can put in here. Silly, silly me. Yep, hold on. I'll be right back. Whoops, let me throw this in here first. A couple of these are still a little light, but they'll be fine. I know one more thing, of course. Silly me. Let's finish off this red pepper. That's awesome in a salad. It's It's going to add that color pop too. It's going to, I thought of it when I was looking at that red tomato. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I can get some color in there. Look at that. It's not completely finished because I do want to make it bigger. I'm going to add lots more stuff to it, but just to give you an idea of what the salad is and the contents of it, here you go. Here is my nice homemade version of out of the garden. Everything is out of the garden here except I did buy that pepper and the onion, this onion, not the other ones. But the cucumbers are from the garden, and oh, the celery. I bought that from the store. Like I said, we really want to have celery in our garden next year. And I might throw a couple of radishes in there for Tim. I don't care for radishes, as we all know, but he does, so I might throw a couple of them in there. But he tends to eat that at the table in case nobody else likes them. So that's a really good, nice little green salad. I think that's pretty much of what I can show you of our Thanksgiving dinner. Helping you with the turkey is a big deal because a lot of people really say they can't do Thanksgiving dinner because they don't know what to do with that turkey. So now you just saw a really super easy way of getting a super good turkey done. I'll put the times and weights and all that up on here because there's no recipe, but I'll put all the times and weights and for thawing and for cooking up here, and cooking whether it is stuffed or unstuffed, so that you can have your guidelines and you can print that out for yourself. Other than that, I have an apple pie coming. We're going to eat the rest of the fruit pie from the other day. And I'm making Danielle some zucchini bread. Shh, don't tell her, she doesn't know it. We're having corn on the cob and the salads. And I think that is a super amazing Thanksgiving in July dinner. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.